All right, here we go. Lord Jamar, welcome back.
God damn, I feel like I was just here, man.
You were last month. Last month. Well, you know, a lot of stuff happened in between that month.
Yeah. Hopefully we're not going to talk about every little thing that happened, Vlad. I don't want to rehash a whole bunch of bullshit, but things happen.
We're going to talk about some big things. Some big things.
Things happen.
So, you know, I woke up this morning to find one of our interviews on Bleacher Report with some sort of Photoshop After Effects.
Which is almost scary, like, if you think about it. Like, yeah, that it was cool. Like that was dope. I said, but when I first initially saw it, I'm like, wait a minute, do I even have that hat? And then I'm looking, I'm like, when did I wear this? And then when I heard what the clip was, and I'm like, first of all, I didn't even know that you could necessarily Photoshop video to that degree. You understand what I'm saying? Like, to where when a person's moving, it don't look like something's coming. Like, that shit, they just changed the color saturation on the shit and then Photoshop. Like, but it was scary. Like, seeing that. It was flattering at first. We got a lot of views out of it, but now when I think back on it, yo, that's dangerous, bruh. Like, just imagine if they could put you in any scenario with any kind of clothes on. Yo, the suspect had on a red fucking hoodie, but you had a green hoodie on, but now it's red to put you, you know, to make it seem like you did the crime, bro.
Well,
Like,
let's go ahead and play the
this
video.
Is some serious shit.
Nah, I feel you. But let's go ahead and play the video, and we'll have, you know, your video and our original video side by side.
Side by side.
Side by side, just to show that you are not wearing this outfit at all in the original video.
At all. The fuck are you talking about? The fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, I mean, you're
Fuck
wearing
are you
a
talking
red hoodie. You're wearing a red hoodie and a red New York baseball cap. Here you're now wearing a blue hoodie with a blue Golden State hat. And you can't really tell.
You can, and so now let's get into the science of that, right? So, and I'm just talking about symbolically. I'm not mad at Bleacher Report or anything like that. You know, it's cool in a way because Bleacher Report, shit, they big as fuck. They got 9 million followers. That's cool. Hopefully KD or one of these motherfuckers saw it and laughed. My thing is, okay, you have the original, right? You alter the original to whatever you want it to be, right? Now, if I was to take the original out the equation and hide the original from you, you would never know that the reproduction is not the original. You would think that that's what I had on that day. And you would argue somebody down and be like, no. He had on a fucking Golden State hat. I seen it. Because I concealed the original now. You see? You see how tricky that gets? And that's been done in history time and time again. We've altered the original and then concealed the original to where we think the reproduction is now the original. And I'm saying that's some bullshit, and we have to be careful with that.
Well, yeah, I mean, this is my actual video, right. And when I saw it, the first thing I thought was, did he wear a Golden State hat? Like, I really had to sit there and think about it, like, I don't think he wore one, but let me go look. Nope.
Before the clip started rolling, I had to think in my mind, in my hat Rolodex, like, cause you know the hats you got, and I'm like, wait a minute, do I even have that hat? Like, cause I do got some Golden State hats, but not that color. They're anything but the traditional Golden State's color. That's what's so crazy.
Well, look, it's currently at 1.5 million views on Bleacher Report. It would have been nice if they tagged both of us in the post, but whatever.
They're gonna know. They'll find out. Some people, the people that knew, was tagging us in the comments and all that. But what's funny is about that is like that whole fuck are you talking about can almost be used for anything. Like you could put it on the tail end of any fuck shit that you feel is some fuck shit. Like I don't know, whatever the fuck you want to. This is the such. Fuck are you talking about? Like,
right, because the caption is, quote, Warriors are better without KD. And then KD. Fuck are you talking about?
Right. So it could be, Kentucky Fried Chicken is better than Popeyes. Fuck are you talking about? Like, it could be any fucking thing. Like,
yep.
This could be used well into the future. Like,
yeah, man, you're a meme now. I mean,
or
I think
this a GIF or a GIF.
Yeah,
right?
I think this is the biggest example of you being memed so far.
Probably.
Right.
I'm seeing some other ones though.
But I think this is the biggest one because it got like 2.5 million views on Twitter. That part of the interview, and
right.
Yeah, now that spills over into Bleacher Report. That's how big that video got. Well, speaking of the Golden State Warriors and KD, by the time this video comes out, it's going to be a few days, but the Raptors just beat the Golden State Warriors in Game 1.
Yeah, they did.
Without KD.
Which is why the meme is so fucking funny. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. Who
I don't think
saw
anyone
that
expected
coming
this.
besides Drake?
Yeah, no one saw this coming.
Besides Drake.
Right.
Yo, if they win, I almost, first of all, I'm a Knicks fan, so I really don't give a fuck what's going on right now. You know what I mean? Like my team is so far in the basement that, my hopes have just been trashed. I don't give a fuck about basketball really right now. But, a part of me, everybody likes the underdog. So a part of me would like to see the Raptors win, because I want to see how much your boy Drake is going to fucking cut up. He's going to show his ass when they fucking win. And I want to see my man, there's this Jamaican dude on IG. Do you be seeing him? He be like, the Raptors. He be calling them the Raptors. He said, the bomber-clad Raptors. He said, we like curry, chicken. We like curry, goat. We like curry, what'd he say? Red snapper. But we don't like Steph Curry. Like, yo, this motherfucker is hilarious. Like, he's some original Dandada, Jamaican, Toronto. And, he's hilarious. You got to see this motherfucker. Check him out.
Well, I mean, Drake showed up to Game 1 wearing a Del Curry autographed jersey.
Oh, wow.
Steph's dad.
Right.
Who was there, and there's a little video of him reacting to actually seeing that for the first time.
That's crazy.
An autographed.
Oh, shit.
So he was wearing an actual Raptors jersey from Steph's dad.
Right.
So he was basically sunning him.
Right.
Kind of, like.
But he's doing a lot of funny shit. I seen him with the Tupac hoodie on, that Tupac had on and above the rim, doing the same motions, all of that. Like, the shit is fucking hilarious.
Well, I mean, think about it. This is the first time the Raptors have ever been in the NBA Finals.
Right.
Ever.
Right.
Let's see how long. Let's see when the Raptors were first launched. 1995.
Wow.
2015. This is in the 24-year history of the Raptors. This is the first time they made it this far, period.
Now, are there any other Canadian teams?
I think that's it.
There's like no Vancouver, nothing alone like that, right? So as far as basketball, they're the only Canadian team. So that
the Raptors are the only Canadian-based team in the league since the Vancouver Grizzlies relocated from Vancouver.
I was going to say Vancouver,
British Columbia to Memphis. So I guess so the Grizzlies were in Vancouver. But
I felt like there
Memphis.
was a Vancouver. That's why I said that. Okay.
There you go. The Grizzlies. Hence the name. All that northern shit.
Right. Yeah. Well, that's deep.
Yeah, man. We're going to see what happens.
I mean, Canada is like America's little stepchild, right? Like,
yeah.
That's the way they're treated. So for the stepchild to, like, finally come out in the forefront and shit is like, that's like their Cinderella story, I suppose.
Well, I mean, speaking of the Knicks, they're saying that KD is supposed to go over to the Knicks.
I don't want to get my hopes up. Let's see what happens. And even still, a team is more than one player. So, I was hyped when Melo came over, but that turned out to be, not what we thought it was going to be. Shout out to Melo, but it just wasn't.
I mean, why would you leave a championship winning team to go to a team that's not doing very well like the Knicks?
Because if you're able to fucking lift that shit out of the gutter and make it a championship team, then it shows how great you are as an individual to lift up the whole team. Whereas he went to a team that's already winning. It almost looked like a sucker move when he went over there by oh, we're going to really stack this team now. Like, you know what I mean? Like, of course y'all supposed to win. Like, look at all the motherfuckers y'all got. Like, you know what I mean? But now if he goes somewhere else, and I don't feel like, people want that. When you're used to certain accolades, you know what I mean? Sometimes you want it all to yourself. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and to have to share it with so many people, he come to New York, it's going to be all about him. This is a crazy big market, business-wise. It makes hella sense. You know what I mean? I think you'd sell a lot more sneakers being in the New York market than the Oakland market. You know what I mean? And that's just real,
Well, I mean, Bay Area is a big market.
It is a big market, but it's not New York.
It's definitely,
you know what I mean? Like, this is
New York
such
is
and such capital of a lot of shit. Fashion, you know what I mean? Like a lot of shit. Yeah.
Well, yeah. And I'm sure if he goes over there, there's probably certain stipulations where they're also getting this player and that player and this player. He's not just going to go there by himself with the existing squad. I mean, just like how LeBron went to L.A. and he brought a whole bunch of big names.
Yeah, they'll be trying to put some shit around him till they'll try to build around him. But see, another thing that New York has, and pretty much all New York franchises have that a lot of franchises don't have, is like a storied history. You know what I mean? Like most New York franchises, baseball, football, all of them have some sort of like time when we was in the heyday and it was like, you know what I mean? It was some shit that you kind of want to attach yourself to that. You know what I mean? That's why people want to be on the Yankees to this day, because of the history that it has. You know what I mean?
I feel you, man. I still think that the Warriors are going to win it, but, we'll see what happens.
Like I said, I don't really care. You know what I mean? But I like the underdog, so, you know what I mean? And I want to see Drake cut up, so those are my reasonings for fucking with them.
Well, the meme video that came up, on Bleacher Report was from an interview that we did where we talked about Lil Nas X
and the Post Malone whole thing.
I'm kind of on the opposite end of this argument. Usually I'm on hip-hop side when it comes to this type of thing, but in this particular time, I actually understand why the song was taken off the country charts.
Why?
Here's why. Let's just say a country singer, someone that's been doing, putting out country songs on his YouTube channel for a couple of years, who's a standard, country guy who plays the guitar and talks about country music type stuff. He decides one day, something, I'm going to just play around and switch it up. I'm going to go ahead and make a hip hop song. And in the song, I'm going to talk about wearing gold chains and smoking blunts and a bunch of stereotypical stuff that non-hip hop people look at rappers and associate themselves with. And the song suddenly starts to chart because it's catchy. and it gets on the hip hop charts.
Mm-hmm.
I think most hip hop people would look at that and say, "Man, get this parody song off these charts."
Do we? Because you've
so.
described Post Malone right there. You just described Post Malone. The fuck are you talking about? The fuck are you talking about? Post Malone.
I came in with this whole routine, worked out how Lil Nas X shouldn't be on the country charts, and I walked into a landmine. And you look at the comments and it's like, oh, you knew it was about to be on when you see Jamar's lip twitching.
That was the tell, right? That was my tell. And I was like,
And then when you let me have it, I took it like a man. I said, great point. Great point. I didn't try to defend my position. And a lot of times, this is a debate type format, so fuck it. I'll keep riding until the wheels fall off. But in this particular case, I thought you made an excellent point. And
a real man can admit when he's wrong sometimes.
Yeah, I saw the logic behind it. And what's funny is that not long after, Post Malone was interviewed by, I think, TMZ.
Mm-hmm. And they asked him a similar question, yeah.
They asked him somewhat of a similar question about Lil Nas X, and he said all country artists are rapping too.
And he said people should be able to make whatever music they want, He said that too. Which I guess is true. You should be able to make whatever kind of music you want. Well, but that doesn't mean, people are going to necessarily accept you. You know what I mean?
Well, name me the last country song that you've heard of.
That I heard of?
Yeah.
Old Town Road?
Before Old Town Road. Achy Breaky Heart?
Maybe. Yeah. Maybe.
Which came out in the 90s by Billy Ray Cyrus?
Right. Don't break my heart. My achy breaky heart. Yeah. Listen, that that whole country shit, and as you, I'm sure, have researched since I put it out there, yes, black people did create country music. That's a fact. Documented. The instruments and all of that, the banjo, the harmonica, the fiddle. These are all African instruments, my brother. These are African instruments. And this is the shit that the Southern slave master heard us playing during slavery. This is where country music comes from. Okay? So the fact that we've been... You can look it up. I'm surprised you didn't look it up already, Vlad, because I told you this in the last video.
Hold on.
I didn't break it down this far, but I told you that black people created country music.
I'm not debating that part, but the fiddle was an African instrument? That's a violin.
Go look it up, bro. Go look it up. I'm not pulling shit out my ass. I come with the facts, bro. I don't come with out the ass. The banjo, the fiddle, harmonica. These are things that we, as African people, originated in Africa.
Well, it says the earliest string instruments were originated from equestrian cultures of Central Asia using horsehairs.
Okay, Vlad.
That's what it says on Wikipedia.
Okay. We're not talking right now. Okay, even though we're not talking about right now the earliest string instruments, we're talking about the people who supposedly were taken in slavery from, let's say, Western Africa over to America, to the Americas. The instruments they were playing traditionally, were these string instruments like the banjo and the fiddle and the harmonica. They might have had different names over there, but when it came over here, that's the shit we brought over here. That's the shit we was playing. That's the shit they heard us playing during slavery. You want to look that part up? Do you think I'm just making this up?
This is a bigger research project.
Okay.
I can't just look it up just now. But
for now,
I'm not arguing. I'm just saying I don't know.
We'll just take my word for it because I'm not one to just make shit up and throw it out there. So we're gonna take my word for it and say, that's kind of ironic too, how we can be muscled out of some shit that, that we started. You know what I mean? That we started. Because it came from the blues and all of that too, country music. Modern country music came from slave music and the blues, okay? That's why they sing about sad shit. And the blues is undoubtedly from black people. So that being said, it's funny that we even having this debate about Lil Nas X and can he be included and, and the fact that country music, I don't know what country music sounds like today, but he said country, they're basically rapping right now, which wouldn't surprise me. You know what I mean? Which wouldn't surprise me. Like,
yeah, I mean, there's been white artists along the way. Like, there's a dude named Haystack who I used to fuck with, who's really dope. Whose stuff kind of sounds like country and rap mixed together.
Okay.
There's also what's the name of that one dude that was fucking with Timberland?
Yeah, I remember him. I kind of liked him. What was his name?
Bubba Sparks.
Bubba Sparks. Yeah.
Ugly.
Huh?
Ugly.
Ugly.
Yeah.
You're saying he's ugly?
No, that was the name of the song. It's getting ugly in here. Remember?
Right. Yes.
I'm not saying he's
I thought you was insulting the young man. I said, well, goddamn, bro. Where'd this come from, Black?
Yeah, then there's your homie Yellow Wolf and a bunch of
we don't fuck
artists.
with that bitch ass motherfucker, but don't bring him up.
There's been a bunch of artists. But anyways, shout out to Lil Nas X. He's still running strong with this single. There was a video
I seen him. They brought him to this elementary school. Did you see that video with the little kids?
It was dope.
Oh man, they was wildin'. And I think Willie D had posted it. And he was like, man, all these racists is mad as fuck watching this fucking video right now. Because it looked like a sea of little white kids, too. And they was just, can't nobody tell me. Oh, man, this shit was crazy.
Since last time 50 Cent made a post.
Bruh.
which you responded to on your own podcast.
Yes, I did. Mm-hmm.
I think he called you Lord Jerome.
You know what he said, Vlad.
Yeah.
Like, we ain't even got to rehash that, bro. It's down. It's been taken down.
Oh, he took his post down?
He took it down. Oh. So, you know what I mean? I don't feel like we even really got to go into it. He took it down. You know what I mean? And he goes hard on motherfuckers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he's been going hard after that. He got other fish, bigger fish to fry, bro. You know what I mean? Than me.
Yeah, I mean, 50's gone hard at me. I've been in the 50 Cent targets before.
Listen,
it is what it is.
I'm not. 50 Cent is somebody whose music I listened to in his prime. He's somebody that I can say black people play his music. You understand what I'm saying? At the cookout, at the club. And he's somebody that, regardless what he said, I have respect for him in a certain kind of way. So, yeah, I'm not gonna respond the same way that I might respond to people I don't have respect for. Okay? So, that being said, you're not going to get me into a beef with this man over this bullshit. Like, it's not gonna happen. Like, you know what I mean? But I stand by what I say as far as Homeboy goes. And it is what it is. I didn't say nothing wrong. I stand by the truth all the time, and that's all I can stand by. You know what I mean?
Well, and I think at the end of the day, people will align themselves with people that have helped them in the past.
As they should. As they should, and as I expect you to. As I expect you to. Now, how hard you do that, how hard you go for people, that's up to you. You know what I mean? But I understand the motives. Like, if it was somebody just coming out of left field, and you know what I mean? But I understand the motives. I believe if he wasn't involved in that like that, he'd be like, yeah, I agree. But whatever. It's all good.
It's all good, man. 50 Cent does 50 Cent. He'll always do 50 Cent. Yeah. He's never changed. He's never softened up over the years or, matured. He's still the same 50 Cent that came out in 2002, and it's been working for him. Like I said, he has issues with me also for stuff that we've covered in the past. Right. It is what it is. We're not sitting there going back and forth with 50 Cent either.
Right. 50 Cent's you're not going to take down nothing
Vlad
that,
Vlad
you know
TV.
What I mean? You're not going to take down no videos that anybody got issues with and all that. You're going to stand by your work. You're going to stand by what you say. Same shit here. Stand by what I say. Like, Can't be the king of tacos if Mexicans don't eat your shit. Just saying.
Well, Kodak Black is back in jail again. And he was denied bond this time around. So
like, am I to understand that they found his prints on a gun that was used in a drive-by, allegedly?
Well, it started with...
And did the drive-by happen in a Porsche? Is what I'm hearing? Is this all true? This is just shit I be hearing. Like, I don't know. I'm asking you. You follow this type of shit.
Yeah, I'm not sure about the details of what exactly happened in terms of the shooting or whatever else. But he registered a gun under false pretenses, clearly knowing he's out on bond or bail, one of the two. He goes and purchases this gun, and then boom, right back in jail again.
Now, I'm going to tell you, a lot of people used to do that back in the days before computers were talking to each other the way they talk now. Okay? I'm going to just say that I know of instances where people who had felonies went into the store back in the days and purchased like a shotgun straight out the store, and where they asked, have you just checked? No. 9 times out of 10 back there, that car just stays inside the store, and they have it on file. Even if they do send it to or it wasn't back then. It wasn't like computers wasn't talking the way they talking to each other now. So now when you fill out that card, though, see, and this is where technology is fucking people from being able to do a lot of crimes how they used to do, because there's cameras every fucking where. And there's also computers talking to each other. So now, you know what I mean? Your fingerprints and all of that is getting shot. You could have took your prints and them shits didn't come back for days and motherfuckers get bailed out before the prints come back. Now, because computers are talking to each other and all this type of shit, oh shit, your shits came back in a couple hours or some shit like that, you dig? Or instantaneously. I don't know how fast it worked, but I know it's faster than back in the day.
Well, I had just interviewed Chi Ali.
Right.
And...
shout out to Chi Ali, that's my man.
Shout out to Chi Ali, man, that's the homie. And in our interview, he detailed how he was on the run for murder, and he kind of detailed the process of getting a fake birth certificate.
What happened was, I'm saying we had it hooked up. I forget exactly how we did it. I know we had a chick who worked at a hospital who used to get the birth certificates with the seal on them from the hospital. but it would be blank, like no name. So she would sell them shit. So we would get the births, go anywhere, type in the name, type in your name, whatever you want your name to be. Now you got a birth certificate. Boom, official birth. Then I got a social. I think my man he had got like one of his little bitches, he had took her son's social security card. So I think he gave me that first. So I had the social, and then when I got the birth certificate, I typed in the name on the social. So boom, now I got a social and the birth. Then I needed like a proof of address. I went to like a housing development and got a lease. Took the lease to the library, typed in all the information like I lived there. When I went to motor vehicles, I got proof of address from the lease. I got birth, and I had my social.
So now you're a whole new person on papers.
I went and took my written test and had a permit. And in Atlanta, you could do the road test the same day. I had a license the same day. So now I got a license, birth,
social security.
Social. Then I started filling out credit cards with the shit. Started getting credit cards, like I was tearing shorty shit up.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
I'm not sure if this is still possible. This was like, I think like the late 90s or something when this happened.
It's probably still possible.
Yeah, but
maybe. Well, see the gun part. Because now they got all these background checks and all this type of shit. You know, but if you do one of the, they still got the loopholes where people do, private sales in parking lots and shit like that. So, if you're in one of those states, you might could get away with that. I don't know.
Well, why is Kodak having to buy a gun himself at this level of his career with the amount of money that he has? He could have 24-hour armed security at all times.
Or he could say, my nigga, go buy that gun for me. You know what I mean? Like, go buy that gun. You ain't got no, you know what I mean? You got a felony? No? Go buy that gun for me. It's that simple. I give you $1,000.
Boom. Cash.
The gun only costs $200, $500. Cause guns ain't not that expensive when you buying them legally. When you buying a legal gun, not expensive. Yeah. It's on the street they expensive. When you buy them illegally.
An illegal gun is more expensive than a legal one?
Hell yeah!
Okay.
You didn't know that?
I don't know, man. I've heard that you could buy guns in the streets for $100, $200. There just might be a body on them,
Man, listen. Let me tell you, a gun, $100, $200, you talking about maybe a 22 or something like. If you want you a good gun, you know what I mean? A 40 cal, a Glock or some shit like that. Like, I don't even know what it's going for right now, to be honest. But back in the days, you could pay a good $500 to $800. You know what I mean? For a gun that in the store, when you go down south, that shit is like $150. It's because you paying for the risk and all of that, of people transporting them shits up top and all this type of shit. You know what I mean? But this is like back in the 90s I'm talking about. I don't know what it is today, to be honest, because I don't fuck with illegal guns and shit like that. But I'm just saying, like, I used to know shit like that. But it's definitely, I'll tell you, I definitely know it's more than what it is in the store, on the street.
Well, listen, man. I mean, these days with fingerprints and DNA evidence, like, they will sit there and link you to a murder because your fingerprints were on the bullets and the clip. And, they'll do that type of shit to say, well, he didn't just have a gun. He clearly loaded it up himself with the intent to do whatever. And, yeah, man, don't fuck around with it. Just don't fuck around with these guns, man. Illegal ones. Get a gun for your house.
Be super careful. Like, I know dudes that wiping down the clip and all of that. Like they not before they bro. I
don't know how well that works in 2019.
Huh?
I don't know how well that works.
Why?
I don't know how well that works.
I bet you it do work. People are so sloppy. People are so, they don't dot their I's and cross their T's. And that's why you don't know what the fuck they spelling. You see what I'm saying? Like, you got to pay attention to details. Some people don't want to fucking wipe off or have to put on latex gloves before they load the clip up. Just load it up. Who's gonna fucking take prints off the bullet? That's
because it's much easier to do life in prison. That doesn't take any work either. Well, speaking of prison, we just interviewed actor Danny Trejo.
Yes, shout out Danny Trejo.
That was a real
fucking legend.
Oh yeah, man, that was a real win for us right there. That was someone who I've been a longtime fan for, and actually, he got his first speaking role at like 41. And that was your first movie role?
That was my first where I got Taft-Hartley. I think I did a couple extra movies before, but just I hadn't planned on being an actor. Just it's a $50.
Right, and I guess you were 33 at the time or older?
I'll be 75, 34.
It was 85. You were born in
44.
44. You were 41 years old.
Yeah.
Wow. See, that's dope.
Yeah.
That's dope. That's dope to be able to break. And he's like really broken through. Like he's had full on, movies where he's the star of it and all of that. Like
Machete.
Yeah, Machete.
He was the star of Machete.
On, like
with Robert De Niro being a co-star.
This is what I'm saying. Like, you got to give him a lot of credit. A lot of credit.
He even talked about on Machete how Robert De Niro, because he did Heat with Robert De Niro back in the day.
Right.
Right, and he said how Robert De Niro showed up on set was like,
all the guys that have been here a long time, the big actors, the A-list actors, they're all really cool. They got no airs about them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I remember when we did, because I did Heat, and then Robert De Niro did Machete for me. Right? When we got Machete, Robert De Niro, everybody wanted to join, right? Because De Niro's in it. So I bump into Robert De Niro on the set of Machete, and he goes, you, number one on the call sheet, you. And I'm like, could I get you some coffee, Mr. De Niro? Because number one on the call sheet means you're the boss. Hey, you're number one.
I'll get you coffee.
I'll still get your coffee, man.
And that's some shit.
But the thing about Danny that I didn't know before we actually sat down and started researching him for the interview is that he has a massive criminal record and history in prisons and all types of violence. And he was never actually in a gang in like the Mexican mafia, organized gang. I mean, there was some neighborhood shit that he was doing, but he was like friends with the founder of the Mexican mafia, Peg Leg.
I mean, from the minute I've ever seen him on screen, it's almost like you didn't have to tell me that. Like something about him, you could just look at him and tell, like, oh, they got them a real authentic motherfucker to be in this flick. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he definitely looked like one of these fucking, he been to San somewhere, San Quentin, one of these motherfucking sands out in Cali jails. You know what I mean? He looked like you just feel that energy coming off of him. Like, like he one of those real essays,
Well, I mean, in the interview, we talked about the whole American Me situation. You said you saved Edward James Olmos' life?
I got a letter from a couple of the guys from Marion, and I read it. And the mistake I made was I got it, and I took it because it said receipt requested, and I got it really. Oh shit! I look at it, Marion, right? And so I read it, and they said, go to my dad. Please talk to my dad. And I'm sorry for this. They apologized to me for involving me, but they had to get this done. So I went to talk to the guy in command. And I remember asking my attorney, Terry Roden, what should I do? And he said, well, would you rather be in trouble with the Mexican mafia or the feds? And I go, well, the feds got rules. He says, well, let's go. So we both went to talk to second in command while Joe was gone. And he said, well, I think, he really disrespected blah, 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 blah. He said, will you go talk to him? Oh, yeah. So he refused to see me. He wouldn't see me.
Edward James Olmos? Okay.
Because he thought that I was.
It was a setup.
Yeah, and I was in a mob, and I've never been in a mob.
You know, I had always heard the rumors that Edward James Olmos had a hit on him from the Mexican Mafia, and that people around the production were killed. But it was always like urban myth.
See, I never had
saying?
heard that. And I used to love that movie.
One of my favorite movies. Incredible movie. That was the movie that made me never want to go to prison. That movie right there. When I saw those rape scenes and I had never seen that before, I said, that's what I'm not going to do. Fuck that shit.
And that was in juvie, right? He was in juvie when that supposedly happened.
Well, you know, it showed the head of the Mexican Mafia getting raped.
Right, and they're saying that did not happen in real life.
That did not happen in real life. No high-ranking member, or really I think any member of the Mexican Mafia was supposed to have been, you know, could have been raped by a man. That shows just a level, like you would lose all respect at that point. Nobody would listen to you.
Right.
You know, so he said over that situation, 10 people were murdered. I think like 6 people in prison and 4 people outside of prison. I think one of the women that was like kind of somewhat of an extra in the movie, you know, all the consultants and everything else like that, people lost their lives over that shit. And there was a hit on Olmos, you know, the director.
How do you feel as a, like I'm just thinking in my mind, how do you feel as a James Olmos knowing that people lost their lives over basically a theatrical decision that you made in your script? Well, why did that fucking scene have to be there? I'm gonna tell you why, because they wanted to try to explain the scene later where he fucking when it was time for him to have sex with the lady and he didn't really know how to deal with it, he started trying to fuck her in the ass because they try to act like that's all he knows from his, you know, from being institutionalized. You see? So they were trying to send some kind of message, you know, the writers and the directors and the producers, all those people have to take account for that. And what I'm saying is, like, that decision had direct consequences in the real world where you tell me at least 10 people lost their lives. That's crazy. Like, that's some shit that this man got to be going to. Maybe this is why we haven't really seen a lot of James Olmos. I mean, we see him, but not like that. You dig? Because I think he might have some demons behind that shit, man. That's crazy.
Well, yeah, and he tried to say that he got the blessing of Peg Leg to do that scene.
And that wasn't
Peg
true.
Leg said, that's not true.
Right.
He said, that never happened. Yeah, man, Mexican Mafia is no joke. You know, shout out to the Mexican Mafia. I never say anything negative about those guys. Like, you know, yeah, but they took that shit very seriously, and it just shows the power of cinema. Like the power of a major theatrical release like that, where, yo, that was a big fucking deal.
And it's the power of influence. You have to be careful with your influence sometimes because, you know, when you have influence, you see, if that wasn't such a big movie, maybe 10 people didn't have to die. You see what I'm saying? Like, maybe some legs would have got broken. I don't know. But, like, the fact that it was so big and this man has so much influence, that's part of it, too, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it was a dope movie. You can't deny that part. Very well made.
Little puppet in them.
Yeah.
Blood in, blood out.
Man.
Come on, Vlad.
I gotta watch it.
Yeah.
I gotta watch it.
Yeah, you gotta watch it. That's a great one too, bro.
I gotta watch it.
Those are the two.
Do you know Lil C's?
Yeah.
Do you know Kim?
Not like that. No.
Well, just recently it was reported. I think.
That they came together.
They came together.
Right. I saw the video actually.
Do you know the situation of why they were beefing all these years?
Not specifically.
All right, let me break down what I know about the situation, and I might be slightly off in certain places, but this is what I remember because I remember when all this happened. So there was a shooting at Hot 97.
Right.
Right. Mm-hmm. It was it was with Lil Kim's entourage, and had something to do, I think, with a Foxy Brown diss record or something like that, where these two entourages came together and a shootout happened.
Correct.
Lil Kim testified that she didn't know all the guys in her crew that did the shooting. They established that they've known each other forever. That these were all close friends and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And from what I understand, they were tapping phones and everything else like that. And essentially, Lil C's was forced to testify and say, no, Lil Kim does know these people. And in the process of that, Lil Kim caught a perjury charge, and she did like, I think, 1.5 years or something in prison.
Okay, all right.
And she basically hated C's after that because she felt like C's was part of the reason why she went to prison. But I remember even reading interviews from the shooters saying, like, we don't understand why Kim was lying about that. She wasn't the shooter. Like, she knows all of us. We don't know why she did that, why she tried to distance herself from us, when, yeah, we had already admitted to the crimes and whatever else.
Right.
So that's what happened, and I think ultimately they buried the hatchet, which I think is a good thing. But, I didn't really see a problem with what Lil C's did.
With acknowledging that she knew them?
Yeah.
I mean, is she feeling like that's a form of snitching or something like that? Is that what we're gonna say? Like.
Yep. Well, because I think it was one of those things that if C's had said, no, Kim doesn't know these people, then he would be charged with perjury himself.
Right. Now we're making it worse for everybody. Like, and I don't understand the purpose of doing that, per se. Like, is that keeping it real? Like I was just watching some shit. Again, it's on IG, and it's one of these IG personalities. And this motherfucker be having me dying. He be like, you bitch ass nigga. And he said, mother, I ain't no bitch ass nigga. He said, if I'm getting locked up, he said, I'm already getting locked. What the fuck I'm gonna tell on you for so you can go to jail too? And make it work for everybody like a bitch ass nigga. You know what I mean? And, you got a point there. Like, if you going to jail already and all of that, like, why I gotta pull this motherfucker under with me? Like, and I'm not gonna get no less time for telling on this motherfucker and all of this type of shit. So why even tell? You know what I mean?
Well,
like,
yeah.
So I mean, in a way, it's the reverse of why put this man in this position to have to lie for you. First of all, y'all didn't do no real crime. It's not like y'all was doing a crime. But I guess see, it's technical though, because I guess she felt like she was holding some codes by not saying nothing, by acting like, nah, I don't know them. Like she felt like she was holding up a code and was willing to take whatever, and then now you feel like everybody should do that, but I don't know, man. That's a hard one now that I think about it. I could see how each side would look at it. You understand what I'm saying? I could see where she would look at it in a certain way and be like, yo, fuck that. If I was if we family, fuck it. If I was going to do it, we all should do it, But really, if we family, you should want for your brother what you want for yourself. And if you want freedom, then you should want that for your brother too. And sometimes you gotta sacrifice for the benefit of the whole. You know what I mean? So if one of us gotta go down, but why we all gotta go down? Is what I'm saying. Like,
well, Kim, I don't know, but C's I do know. We've hung out a few times. I think we did an interview way back before Vlad TV, And cool dude, man. I'm glad that they got it worked out. I think Biggie would have liked for them to all be getting along.
Oh, no doubt.
You know what I mean?
I fucks with C's. Like, he fucks with my man Henny Lokes. Shout out to my man Henny Lokes. Yeah, that's like original Junior Mafia crew.
Well, I also interviewed DeAndre Bonds.
Right. He played
Stacy from the Wood.
Correct. Yes. I didn't get to watch those yet, but I've been meaning to.
He has a very interesting story.
I know. This is why I want to watch.
Well, he actually killed his aunt's boyfriend with a knife in self-defense and ended up doing like 12 years.
And this day, her boyfriend, I guess he was having a bad time in his life, and I pulled up and playing loud music, triggered something in him. He came and he attacked me, and with no words or nothing, just I defended myself, couldn't win, and wind up pulling a knife and just getting stabbing him one time, and he died.
I mean, it's kind of an interesting story because his career really was I wouldn't say taking off, but he was a solid working Hollywood actor. You know, he did The Wood, he did, Tales from the Hood. And I guess he had just gotten cast for Antoine Fisher.
Oh, wow.
And then this happened.
That's fucked up.
And then 12 years later, he gets out. And he's getting roles again.
Good.
He's on the new season of Snowfall.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Rest in peace, John Singleton.
Yes, sir.
He also did a movie with the black dude from Star Wars.
The English dude.
The English dude, right. And, he's doing his thing, but, you could tell that he's had a lot of problems along the way, and, he definitely has a lot of pain in what he's lived through. But being a working actor on the level of a DeAndre Bonds, man, I think is not easy to do. And you being an actor, you know that.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to say, though, everything happens for a reason. And I bet you the shit that happened to him, he's going to be able to use that in his in the future work that he does. And we might see some fucking really amazing shit come from this man. Like, you know what I mean? Like, especially if he's able to make it translate and you know what I mean? You use your pain and turn it into something else.
Yeah. I mean, have you ever seen the movie Lockdown?
Lockdown. Who's in it?
Master P, DeAndre Bonds, Sticky Fingers, Clifton Powell, Joe Torre.
Maybe. I don't remember. Maybe. That could have been my days of bootleg VHSs. A lot of those bootleg videos are a haze.
Well, there's a rape scene in that movie that DeAndre Bonds is involved in.
Oh, and he said he cried or something like that in real life when he did it?
He cried, yeah. He said he didn't want to do it, and the director convinced him to do it, and then afterwards he went and cried.
The rape scene?
Yeah.
No, I did not want to do it. That's one of the worst scenes I ever did, and I wish I could go back and take it back, you know what I mean? But, I was an actor, I'm an actor at the time, and the director, said, I need you to do this, man, and like, fuck it, come on, man, let's just get it out the way.
I guess you cried after doing that scene.
Yeah, I cried. Literally, because I felt like I didn't feel right, you know what I mean? It was just something that wasn't spiritually right about that shit.
And it just kind of reminds me of some of the conversations you and I have had about, like, hey, if you got offered a certain kind of role, would you take it? And it's always like, nope. And, here's just a very good example of someone who said, all right, fine, I'll go along with it. And to this day, I mean, because this movie came out, let's take a look, 2000. We're talking about almost 20 years later, he still regrets doing that.
So wait, let me ask you something. Did he feel apprehensive about doing it ahead of time and did it anyway? Like, did something tell him, I don't really feel comfortable doing this rape scene, but then they talked him into doing it? You see what I'm saying? Or did he do it and then afterwards he realized that, oh shit, I don't feel good about that? I'm just curious.
Well, he actually got raped in that movie.
Oh, he got raped in the movie?
By a guy, yeah.
Whoa, see, I didn't...
Yeah, like I haven't actually seen the movie either, but I'm looking down the
I definitely didn't see this
Wikipedia
movie.
page. Yeah, so Dre, the character he plays, Dre is raped and turned to a prison sex slave by his psychotic cellmate.
Whoa. Oh, see. I'm thinking...
I guess a white dude, yeah, a Nazi dude.
Here's the regular, like, since I knew nothing about it, this is my heterosexual mind thinking of what happened. So I'm thinking in the movie, he had to rape a female. And that, you know, he got so much respect for sisters and you know, or maybe something happened to, you know, a female in his life where he, you know, he cried afterwards or whatever the case may be, and because he felt bad about raping his sister. But you're telling me that in this movie, he was the one that got raped. And then after it happened, he cried. Now, yeah, see, I would have, when I read that in the script, I would have been like, first of all, if I saw it before I auditioned, if it was in the sides, what are called the sides, I would have said, oh, I'm not doing this. I'm not even going for this. But now, if I didn't see it, and let's just say I got the part, and now all of a sudden they included this, like out of nowhere, I'm going to protest to the point where if I have to lose the job, give back the money, like all of that, I'm dead ass serious. Like I'm not doing that. There will be no crying after because I'm not doing it. But you know, I could understand him regretting something like that. And again, I'm still curious, was he apprehensive at first and then somebody said, I'll just do it, and then he went against his intuition? Because that's what I feel that you shouldn't do, is go against your intuition, okay? When you feel your intuition kicking in, when your intuition tells you something, that's your higher self trying to warn you of some shit.
Yeah, man. I think that the one thing that I have learned through the course of my life and my career is that you never do anything just for the money. Period. It doesn't matter how much money. It doesn't matter, you know, what someone does to convince you. If it's strictly for the money, I will not do it. And this is, you know, for example, Adam22 was talking about, you know, he was on Twitter saying how like a rapper had offered him $10,000 to do an interview and he turned him down, and now the rapper was on IG dissing him. And I'm like, I could relate. I've turned down $20,000 offers for interviews. And people are like, yo, you bougie, you know, you trying to, you know, man, shut the fuck up and take that money. What's wrong with you? 20 G's, like, yo. And it's like, nah, I'm cool. 20 G's, even 50 G's, like, I'm cool. You could take it. Like, you know, because I'll be doing it just for the money. I'll hate when I'll be doing it. And it's going to be obvious to everybody that I've sold out. And I'd rather just slowly build up what I have and say, fuck it. Yeah, that money would have been cool. Yeah, who doesn't want 20,000? You know what I mean? It doesn't matter how. Jay-Z would always want 20,000. You know, but you make decisions not to do shit. You know, You make decisions not to do songs with people. You make decisions not to work with certain types of people. And most times when you look back on those decisions, you usually realize that you made the right decisions by turning it down.
Well, I ain't gonna front. I'll interview a motherfucker with 20 G right now.
Well, you know, but our platforms are different.
Clan member, I don't give a fuck.
You know, when I first started, a couple people did pay to get interviews with me. I've never denied that.
Right.
I've done it.
When you first
started.
started.
When I first started, when the money was tight and I needed to do it.
Feel free, y'all. Feel free.
Yeah. You know, but go fuck with Jamar, man. When
Yeah,
Vlad doesn't respond to your DM.
5G interviews, yo.
When Vlad ignores your DM, go to Jamar on the podcast, on the Yada Namin Godcast, and he got you.
Okay? I'll hit you with the Cash App and all of that.
Since last time, you know, the whole Nipsey Hussle situation, Chris Darden has quit as Eric Holder's lawyer because of death threats to his family.
I just feel like, does this nigga just want to be on the wrong side of black people always? Like, let me find out where the black community is, and then let me just go on the other side of that. Like, because, you know, first you're the defense lawyer of OJ when the black community is fucking with OJ, they gonna bring in your black ass to be like, you know, the black face of law enforcement, basically, to stand behind, what's her name? Curly
Marsha Clark.
Marsha Clark.
Yeah.
Then, fast forward to this, you see that the black community is in love with Nipsey Hussle, was in the midst of mourning this man. He was somebody that, you know, the black community felt strongly about. And here you go, once again, on the wrong side of black people's pulse. And now you're going to go ahead and say, you know, it'd be a good idea if I defend the motherfucker who the black community hates right now. What sense does that make? Like you just a glutton for punishment. Like you just want your black card destroyed and like, you know what I mean?
I mean, let me tell you, not only does the black community hate Eric Holder, but I've had interviews with people like BG Knockout who have said on camera that if I had the chance to kill Eric Holder, I would do it, and then I would go to prison afterwards. Let's just say that Eric Holder never got caught. Mm-hmm. And you're driving around in Vegas, and there you see him at a parking lot.
I would smoke.
You would kill him.
Mm-hmm. Right there.
And let me tell you that his words represent a certain percentage of the population within the black community. Like, he's not the only one. He's just somebody that you happen to interview on camera. But there's plenty of people that feel that way right now, especially because of the type of person that Nipsey Hussle was and what he represented for us, you know? So why this man would do this? But, you know, first of all, don't pat yourself on the back, Mr. Darden. Like, don't think that you so bad where you was gonna get this motherfucker off anyway. Even though, I don't know, this video evidence is looking shady. But, because I can't say that that's homeboy on the video, just watching it. From the videos I've seen. Maybe they got better police videos, but from the videos I seen, if I was his lawyer, I'd be like, prove to me that that's him.
Well,
because it don't look like, I can't see nobody.
Right, but I believe that there was multiple witnesses. I believe the getaway driver girl is cooperating because she doesn't want to catch a charge. You know, she don't want to catch a murder charge, an accessory to murder charge in the process. And I think that he's, you know, by checking himself into a mental institution after already being in a mental institution, he's just going to say insanity. He's going to say he's going to try to avoid prison and just be in a mental institution for the rest of his life, which is much better than prison, if you ask me. Like.
I guess. I don't know.
I guess. I would rather be in neither. But,
yeah.
Yeah, man. But, you know, at the end of the day, like, the fuck you think was going to happen? Think everyone's just going to be cool with you representing this dude? Like, I would have been like, yeah, fuck it. You know,
it's like,
come
again,
get me.
this is what I'm saying. Like, again. Like, you're making the wrong choice again. Like, you're on the wrong side of the black community. Like, who could we trade this guy for? Like, he's one of those, you see what I'm saying? Like, when they talk about making trades, like, I'll take this white guy for this black guy, like, you know, and he'll be in a, you know. You're going to have to go, bro, because you always on the wrong side of black people's issues.
Well, not surprisingly, now there is a fight over Nipsey Hussle's estate, where his baby mother for his oldest child is now trying to seize control of Nipsey's estate, and, you know, also get custody of, I believe, Nipsey's daughter. Yeah, because he has a son with Lauren London, but he has a daughter with this other girl, China Hussle, I think is what she calls herself.
Okay, yeah.
But Nipsey actually had custody of his daughter at the time of his passing, because I guess his family was saying that she's too unstable to have custody of the daughter. Now she's trying to get custody and she's trying to, you know, seize the control of the estate. Fucking mess, man.
But he's not married to Lauren London, right?
Well, that's the thing. She was referring to him as her husband, but I don't think they were married.
How long have they been together? Because, you know, Cali has common law. Have they been together like 7 years?
Possibly. Probably around close to that time.
Because if so, she could possibly be his common law wife. And if that's the case, then she would have some sort of say-so to shit like that. You see what I'm saying? But this is why, you know, you got to, you know, shit like that, when shit like this comes in, this is, you know, marriage and stuff like that is to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
To help fix shit like this sometimes, you know what I mean? Like, you got to choose if that's the one, you know what I mean? If some shit happens to you and you don't want the last one coming in making claims, whatever, then you might as well, you know? There's a lot of shit, man. I don't know.
Yeah, man. I mean, there's an apprehension, you know, I'm not even going to say hip hop or black or white or whatever, but I feel like people are definitely more apprehensive to get married in 2019 than they were in, you know, 1989. Like, I think, you know, especially, you know, certain successful men are scared to get married. They're scared to give up half. I mean, I remember, like, me and Boosie got into this whole conversation about marriage, and he's like, how many baby mothers at this point?
6.
6. So you have six women that you have children with. Some of them have multiple children.
Right.
But you
one of them got multiple children.
One of them got multiple children. Okay. And the other 5 have one child from you.
Yeah.
But none of these women you want to marry, and you're not looking for a new woman to marry either.
Nah, I'm not into marriage thing. I feel like when you bring the paperwork in, that's when everything go wrong. I feel like you can love a woman unconditionally and y'all can be married without no paperwork. When you bring that paperwork in, that's when everything goes wrong. And if you know you're in a type of lifestyle, you know, why play with that woman's heart? Why play with that woman and tell her you're going to marry this woman when you got 67 holly berries at your neck kissing on your ear every night? And you going to tell your wife if 70 of them at your thing, you going to turn down all 70? A couple of them going to get you. You know, so I feel like if you know in your heart, man, You know in your heart, bro, it's a chance you ain't gonna do right, man. Let that woman be, man. You can love that woman without that paperwork. You ain't gotta put that paperwork in there. And I don't believe in that split shit, you know. And I'm the breadwinner, you know, because she wasn't getting shot with me on the corner. She didn't teach me how to cook cocaine. She wasn't with me in that studio rapping all them times. She wasn't with me when everything was, like I don't believe in that split shit. So I'm not finna marry a woman and I cheat on her and I gotta split millions of dollars with her. Hell no.
And, and he has a significant amount of money and he's got a big property and, music holdings and whatever else. It's going to be absolute fucking chaos.
Unless he makes a will or something that specifically, directs everything. But then they still try to contest the will and blah, 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 blah.
Well, yeah. John Singleton, who just passed, had a will. And everything was supposed to go to his child. But what had happened was he had more children after that will. And the will was never updated, so I had heard they're throwing that will out. And now it's going to be just a battle royale over his assets.
Right.
DaBaby, who we've had on our show. Have you seen
that? Out his shorts. Now, how do you knock a nigga out his shorts? And you was the one talking shit first, not DaBaby, the other dude. On the camera, it appears that he's the one egging on DaBaby.
Oh, yeah, no, he had his camera out talking about, hey, look at this bitch ass. What you gonna do? What you gonna do? Well, he
said, win, win, win.
Well, and the dude in the video
he gave him
actually threw the first punch. Huh? The dude in the video threw the first punch.
I know. But then cut to homeboy's half asleep on the ground with his pants. Like, how do you punch a nigga out his pants? Like, what happened? Did he punch him in that, like, little tie piece just, like, loosen at that moment? Like, you see what I'm saying? He shook him so hard that piece just came loose. And then his pants just came down.
Well, my thing is, why do you want to fuck with DaBaby? I mean, like, he allegedly killed someone in self-defense, like at a Walmart.
Oh, right. Is that? I forgot about that.
Yeah, we did an interview. That's him. I mean, we did an interview while the case was still somewhat pending, so we didn't really talk about it, but not long after our interview, basically all charges against him were dropped. They're not pursuing any charges against him, but from the story that I heard, he was with his family, with his kids, and some knuckleheads tried to roll up in him in a Walmart and pull out a gun on him, and he pulled out and killed one of the dudes. Like, I saw the video of the dude laid out.
And he's lucky that he got punched out his shorts because he could have got shot out of his life, is what you're saying. Fucking with DaBaby.
Yeah. Like why fuck with this dude? Like
especially
hold on.
Public stores.
Public stores.
You're going to catch a bad one.
Here's what else. Not only does DaBaby has potentially killed someone in self-defense, which I'm 100% for, number one. 100%.
Killing people in self-defense.
Killing someone in self-defense, especially to protect your family. 100%. I would do it. Come in my house, I'm going to kill you dead.
Okay.
No qualms about it.
Gotcha.
But on top of that situation, and we did this interview with DaBaby also, some dudes ran up in his house and he shot one of them.
What really woke me up though was probably them kicking the door.
Okay.
Because I hear the screaming, so it couldn't have been the screaming. So they probably, I boom, hopped up, grabbed the eye. I hear screaming, but I come straight out. And it's like a long hallway. From my room, it's a long hallway. Come on this hallway, turn the corner, boom, it's like a little wrap around into the living room. You see what I'm saying? In the kitchen over here to the left, wrap around to the living room, and then it's pretty much like the front door that way. You see them big ass apartment. Like, it's like a house. Down there, there's stairs and everything in there, shit. You know what I mean? And when I got them come, I turned the corner on some James Bond shit. You hear me? I turn the corner. I see it's like this. I see like 5, 6 niggas. You see what I'm saying? But some of them over there going through shit.
Oh, they're actually rummaging through your house at this point.
Yeah, they rooked that. They ain't even clear the spot. You know what I
mean?
They ain't even make sure wasn't nobody in there. They going through posters and shit.
So they don't even case the whole house to make sure
they ain't get a chance to. I met them right there before you can get to the first bedroom.
So now you're face to face.
So it's a couple of them creeping towards me, and there's more niggas. It's plenty niggas. It's plenty of them. It was like 6 people, like 5. I saw 5, 6 people.
Okay.
And then goddamn, so look, I turned the corner, like I said, what was that, on some James Bond shit, you hear me? Turn the corner, I see all the niggas. I still wasn't expecting that, you know what I mean? Like I see like 5, 6 niggas, and the closest one to me, he just as close as you is. You know what I mean? But he coming towards me, and I'm turning the corner, pop his ass, bang! And them niggas, that's what you start hitting. Them niggas, and they shooting back. Niggas behind them shooting back.
Did they start shooting back?
Hell yeah.
Okay.
Hell yeah, niggas shot back like 5 times.
Did you get hit?
Nah, hell nah.
Right.
How's that? That's 2 shootings that I know of.
Right.
You want to run up on this guy? For real?
Well, this guy said, yeah, he did. He did want to run up on him. And fortunately, nobody got shot. He got some hands put on him. And what's so fucking crazy, the dude who got beat up, like he was making mad videos after the fact. Like dude, just go somewhere and just chill. Like you don't need to be making no more videos right now, bro. Not for a while. Like go let your fucking all that shit heal up, bro.
Well, he reached out to me for an interview, and I just didn't answer. I'm not doing that interview.
That dude?
That dude, yeah.
The fuck he want to interview for? Because he want to say, oh, look at my face. Look, I'm still pretty. He didn't really do nothing. And both of them jumped me. Because I seen a video where he had the security guard. How many got? I really don't care if he got jumped, to be honest. Like, what did you expect the way he was acting? Like, all I know is, jumped or not, you're not supposed to be on the floor with your pants, down around your ankles. Like, that's not supposed to happen.
Well, I mean, my thing is you started it. You threw the first. You're the one that's mocking the dude and trying to press his buttons.
This is what I'm saying. And you got your button pressed, obviously. Shit happens, man.
We did the Sarah Molina interview a while back.
That's Tekashi's baby mama?
Tekashi's baby mother. And she recently, she spoke about how somehow we set her up, with that paperwork, and she had no idea what it was about. And she went on Adam 22 on a No Jumper podcast recently and said that, she regrets doing the interview, and I said she had no idea what was on the paperwork and everything else like that. And I don't usually speak about this shit, but you know something? Let me just put this out there. They sent us that paperwork before the interview.
Who's they? Her
fucking manager, publicist, whoever. Before the interview, they sent us a copy of Tekashi's guilty plea. That's the only reason we even knew about it.
Right.
Although it was public, it was released publicly, no one knew about this. It wasn't reported by anybody, so we never caught on to it until they sent it to us. So that paperwork that she read, I'm almost 100% sure that she had already read through it before, because they sent it to us as a talking point. And, the whole regretting doing Vlad TV, she came back and requested another interview with us afterwards, which we politely declined. But it's like everyone wants to make Vlad TV the bad guy. Like, we're the bad guy. We somehow trapped her in this room and made her read this paper, and, now she regrets it. Like, at the end of the day, she came to talk about this shit, and we talked about it, and it did huge numbers, and Tekashi looks the way he looks because he really did what he did.
Listen, man. Yeah, I don't know. Like somebody got to be the bad guy, right? Somebody got to be the fucking bad guy at the end of the day, Vlad. And a lot of times it's gonna be you. God damn it! Like, it's gonna be you. Like, you just gotta deal with it. Like, I feel like I wouldn't have known who she was if she didn't do that interview necessarily. And hopefully she can use that interview to help. You know what I mean? build her brand or whatever the case may be. You see what I'm saying? At the very least, get a nigga with money in her DMs. You see what I'm saying? Like, come on. That's what a lot of these broads is looking for anyway. Like, sure she wanted Tekashi replacement, right? You see what I'm saying? Even though he wasn't with her though at the time, right? He's with another girl. She's getting tattoos
but
of him.
They still have a child together.
Right, but what I'm saying,
they still have a child together. But his girlfriend at the time when he got locked up, did you see that Tekashi tattoo on her chest? I mean, the 6ix9ine shit was like, all right, cool, I got it. Yeah, that's kind of cool, stylistic. If you're into that, cool, I got it. But that his face, like grimacing, like in a really bad version of it.
Yeah, that was crazy. That was crazy. But it's like, again, though, she's trying to build her shit up or set herself, she's I think looking into the future by doing all that type of shit. So at the very least, even if she don't fuck with him no more, she's the girl with the 6ix9ine tattoos that definitely used to be with him. And now there's gonna be, the way niggas are these days, there's gonna be somebody that's gonna wanna fuck with her just because he used to fuck with her. You see what I'm saying? And maybe she could you see what I'm saying? Maybe she could pioneer that into something. But that's the type of shit that's going on right now. Like, you see how Soulja Boy, he said he wanted to try out some of that Black China pussy and all that. Like, that's how dudes be. Like, y'all want to try that pussy out? Like, I was checking her out while she was with homeboy, and now she not with him. Let me try that out. You know what I mean?
No, I feel you. I remember in my younger days, I remember fucking with this one girl, and she used to tell me she used to fuck with Too Short. And I remember going like, oh, like there was a certain level of pride. Like, oh, okay, well, Too Short fuck with her. Now I'm fucking with her. Like, now I see how stupid that is. Like, I'm not proud of the 20-something-year-old Vlad that thought like
but
that.
Back then, that was the thing. Like, oh, shit, I fucked the same girl Too Short was fucking. Like... I'm technically like a celebrity by osmosis. I got celebrity pussy by osmosis. Like, this is crazy. Like, yeah, man. Like, that's how motherfuckers see it. So, that's why you need to be careful. These dudes, you need to be careful about all these girls that they try to introduce to the public spotlight. Like, look at Amber Rose. Like your boy Kanye thought he was, oh man, I got me a bad one. I'm going to introduce, man, as soon as she was done with you or whatever the case may be, she moved right on to, you know what I mean? Wiz Khalifa, and then now man, she good. She don't even need none of these motherfuckers now. You see, so some of these girls, you got to be careful because, just being attached to you in any kind of way could make a person famous. You see what I'm saying? Like, and put her on the radar of these fucking sex wolves that are out here. You understand?
Me and you were talking about this, I think earlier this morning, how there is now YouTube accounts that seem to be dedicated to bashing Vlad TV interviews. And when I started to see it, and I started to see repeatedly these types of videos coming out, the first thing I thought was like, damn, I'm kind of flattered. Like, we have a business that's spawning other businesses off of our business indirectly. And listen, man, if this is how you're getting your money, if bashing a Vlad TV interview is how you're getting your views, and so, because I understand that Vlad TV is a polarizing entity. I'm fully aware of this.
Yes.
I know that people love us or hate us, not too much in the middle.
Yes.
We're polarizing, and I get it. So if this is how you're making your money,
you're polarizing to people specifically. Not just Vlad TV, the entity. You, as a person, are polarizing.
As a person.
To people.
As a person.
Go ahead.
I say entity because I feel that, just like a Zach TV or a World Star, Vlad TV will continue as a business after I'm gone.
yeah, but Vlad himself is so much a part of this. The fact that you conduct every interview, you see what I'm saying, and that your voice and your, they could see it's you driving and steering the questions and all of that type of shit. Mm-hmm. So a lot of this falls on you personally as far as the type of questions you ask and who you're asking and all of that. You understand what I'm saying? So that's what makes it more personal in people's minds, where it's not like World Star be putting up a bunch of fight videos. You see, they're blaming that on the site more than a person. I still don't know.
No, they're blaming it on Q.
No.
World Star.
Let me tell you, the average person doesn't know who Q is. Only the people behind the scenes know about Q. You ask the average person who's yelling World Star. You say, who was the owner of World Star? They don't know Q like that. You know Q, I know who, and people behind in the industry know him, but the average person don't know him. But the average person that watch your shit knows that Vlad is this is your shit. You dig? And that's the difference, and that's why you're gonna get more heat personally, because you've interjected yourself into the shit. You see?
Yeah.
Even though you're not on camera.
Yeah. I mean, do you think that Vlad TV is like the bad guys of the bad guy of hip hop? Vlad is the bad guy of hip hop.
Vlad TV is the bad guy of hip hop, but I understand why some people feel a certain way towards you when they, especially if you don't know the whole. And I'm not going to get into your whole, scope of who you are. But if you don't know your whole scope, I think there's certain things that people assume about you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, for example, I just did Arian Foster, the NFL player. He has a podcast.
Okay.
Right. And he asked to do an interview with me, and we featured some of his stuff on our YouTube channel. So I was like, yeah, no problem, let's go ahead and do it. And we talked about kind of like some of the negative views on Vlad TV, how certain people look at us negatively and so forth. He said, does that bother you? And I'm like, nah. I mean, it comes with the territory, because I remember showering this morning and thinking like, I think Vlad TV is the biggest independent hip hop media company in the world. Like, we're not going to say we're bigger than Clear Channel or nothing stupid like that. But in terms of independent, hip-hop, urban, whatever media platforms, I think we're the biggest ones. It may have been World Star at one point, but I think that we've surpassed them just in terms of, just overall business. You see what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, yeah, man, it comes with the territory, and I have no problems. Saying things that not everybody is going to agree with and certain people are going to have problems with. We're not going to get into the Dr. Sebi thing, because I think we've covered it to death. You know what I'm saying? But, that was clearly one of those things where people hated me for my opinions. And I never really had a problem with that.
Yeah, but I also think that was an example of you as a white man having a certain disconnect with the pulse of the community. And I feel like you did not understand how Dr. Sebi was held in such high regard by so many people. And I think the way that you almost handled one of our ancestors, because this man is passed, was kind of disrespectful to a lot of people in the community. And I feel like, again, you might be down with some hip-hop shit, but see, this is where, and like people will say, oh, Lord Jamar, you're so racist because you bring up white and black. Listen, white and black is real. There's white people, there's black people, there's yellow people, and we all have our own certain ways and actions. We all have our certain cultural certain things within our cultural DNA and all of that. You understand? And although you're in something that is black culture, sometimes you're going to be disconnected from black culture because you're not black. And that's just real. That's just real.
I'm not.
So
I've never tried to be a Rachel Dolezal where I try to say I was part black or this whatever.
And that's
clearly,
great. That's
I've
great.
clearly
But
stated
who
I am, where I came from.
But you love some black shit. You love an art form that's black. Now every so often you might say and do some shit that's against black people's sensibilities because I feel like you don't know better. You don't know any better. I feel like you didn't know who Dr. Sebi was, but I'm telling you, whether you agree with him or not, you have to give that man respect. You understand what I'm saying? And the people who watch Vlad TV and all of that, and there's a lot of them, they'd probably respect you more if you were aware of these certain sensitivities. You dig?
Listen, I feel you, man. And what I've always said is, like, I understand that the human body and healing, a lot of it is mental and a lot of it is faith. And if you truly believe that Dr. Sebi has solutions, things that will help you, then by all means go out and do that. He
Just
has a
like if you
website.
truly believe Western medicine can do it.
Right.
Neither one... You're not going to sit here and say that Western medicine is superior to what Dr. Sebi was doing. It's not. If you're going to say that healing is part of faith, then it's all fucking faith. Then you're getting healed by that fucking fake operation and that fake fucking prescription that they gave you, the same way you might be getting healed by some herbs over here. So, what the fuck?
Well, look, you could
don't try to belittle one and hold one up higher. You can't do that.
You could go to drsebisellfood.com. That's his official website.
Okay.
He's got various packages that you can buy. The one that they push the most is a $750 package with 10 products included. Here's all this free promotion that I'm giving.
Okay.
And you guys can come to your own conclusion on whether this works or doesn't work for you. Everyone who's mad at me can watch this. And to everyone who holds this guy, for example, me and Nick Cannon, he's doing a Dr. Sebi documentary. Me and him disagree on this also. We've spoken about it privately, not on camera, but privately. Me and him talk, and we've talked about this. And he truly believes that there are certain things that would make him take time out of his very busy schedule to work on this.
Right.
'Cause
so you
Nick
need
Cannon's
to take that into account as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That people that you know and respect and have love for Dr. Sebi. So whether you agree with him or not, I need you to treat him with more respect. That's all.
Fair enough. And, with my thing, it came from, in my mind, a good place because I felt like, I disagreed with certain things, so I felt I was pushing a certain information that I felt would help people that watch me as well. But at the end of the day, we all have to make our own decisions, and it's your money and it's your body, so you could use both of them as you see fit, whoever you are out in the universe.
I'll accept that.
You'll accept that?
I'll accept that.
Just the other day, R. Kelly was charged with an additional 11 sex crimes. And these crimes are just below murder in the severity of it all.
How do we get here? Like, how do you get here from just all he wanted was a nut? All he wanted was a nut originally. And what's crazy is he's paying for past nuts.
The nuts of Christmas past.
And I don't want to just boil it down to that, but in his world, that's what it is. You see what I'm saying? Like in his world, sex just reigns supreme. Like he's obviously just sex like is on the brain all the time. So he wants to have sex. Whether it's young girl, old girl, he just wants to have sex. And like the fact that you were so infatuated by sex, and now that same infatuation is what is bringing you down right now, is this not what we call irony? Like, is this the example of something being ironic? I think so.
Yeah, man. Now his lawyer is saying that all these charges were actually the old charges that he already was found not guilty for. This would be double jeopardy, so he thinks all this is going to get thrown out.
Okay.
And then a grand jury has convened and is choosing to move forward. I don't know, man. Like my only, I mean, listen, I love sex. I love women. I could relate to loving sex, but not to being a pedophile. Like that's really, I mean, it has nothing to do with him having sex with lots of women. You could do that shit. You could be Wilt Chamberlain and fuck 20,000 women. Like, that's all good, but.
I mean, or loving sex to the point where you gotta like stable these broads. Like you squirreling them away in your little treehouse.
Nothing wrong with them if they're 18 and over.
So you're cool with like harboring a bunch of broads, like you would have a crib with with 5 of Vlad's broads in there. Just chilling.
I have no problem with that concept. I mean, look at Hugh Hefner. He was considered the man when he did that. He had a mansion filled with them, with the baddest ones, worldwide considered the baddest females, playmates, perfect bodies, whatever, to a certain demographic, whatever. Not so much to me, but to a certain people, he had the baddest ones. No, people just thought he was the man. He had his own show where he had his 3 girlfriends on the show.
I just feel like, just like fucking all the time. Like at some point, it's like, come on, like, what else are we doing here? God damn it! Like, is this all? You know what I mean? Like, come on, man. Like, how many nuts? When is enough with anything, really? You see what I'm saying? Like. When is enough? And when do you realize that you're ODing on something to the point where you could go to jail for whatever it is? You know what I mean? Like, I'm ODing on.
Well, remember his old lawyer, this old white guy who I guess has cancer and is about to die, said that like he did it. Not only did R. Kelly really do it, but he took him to the doctors where he got these like libido pills to like try to control, subside his libido so he's not always trying to fuck.
Really?
I mean, look, yeah, man. I mean, everyone has a different sex drive. Like just because, like some dudes got to fuck 3-4 times a day just to get through the day.
That's a mental illness. Like it's not. See, now they're gonna try to act like, listen, I'm just abnormal. Like I'm just some sort of super sexual fucking being. No, wherever your mind is, the mind controls the body. You know what I mean? So if you keep your mind on sex, that's where your body's gonna be. So if you just keep thinking about it, that's not your libido is high. You're just thinking about sex. You're preoccupied with sex. That's it.
Well, how does R. Kelly make his living?
Right. It should be writing love songs, not sex songs. It should be love songs.
Come on.
Okay.
Now.
Yeah, well, these days, sex songs are love songs, right?
But he started out doing straight sex songs, bump and grind.
And so if that is how you make your living, everybody needs a vacation and a release from what they do. You see what I'm saying? Like when I used to do Oz, right? Every fucking police officer that I would meet and they'd find out I was on a show, they'd be like, yo, pardon me, but I don't watch that show because I deal with that type of shit every fucking day. What do I want to come home and watch that for? You see what I'm saying? Like I want to decompress when I come home. So if you're writing songs about fucking sex every fucking day, are you gonna come home now and watch fucking porn? And then make another porn? It's just like, damn, like at some point, you might just want to watch cartoons or some shit. I don't know, like just to get away from, but if you're always keeping your mind in a certain place, well then that's where you're gonna be. You know what I mean? And your whole life is gonna revolve around that. So wherever your mind is focused on, that's where you're gonna be.
Well, I mean, Harvey Weinstein just settled his civil suits for $44 million. $44 million. God damn.
And is any nut worth that?
No.
Like, I don't care, you put all the nuts that you've ever had in your lifetime, put them all together and one big super nut. And you know what I mean? And woo, is it worth $44 million for that super nut that you got? From all the bras that you knocked down and all that, was it worth it? Hell fucking no, it wasn't.
Yeah, I mean, $44 million, I mean, I don't know whether he has that liquid or not. Probably not. I had heard that he was kind of in financial trouble leading up to all this shit because of all the legal bills.
But he's been involved with so many big movies and has, producer credits and all of that. I would think that $44 million is something that he can get. It'll hurt him now, but I don't think he's going to be broke after paying that.
I mean, listen.
He's not going to be on the bread line, and he's not going to be getting welfare after he pays $44 million.
I mean, look, at the end of the day, people know, people who are money makers will always find a new place to make money for someone. L.A. Reid had to leave Epic Records as the CEO, so he goes and starts his own label soon afterwards, and now, Yellow Beezy's on his label, and he's doing great.
Yeah, but no, first of all, that's not true, because there are people that are money makers because people are making money off of them. There's been plenty of boxers, who were money makers in their prime, and then after their fucking career is over, they're not making money no more, and they die.
No, right. No, but what I mean is that if you can continue to generate money based on your skill set, there will be someone that will come in and say, okay, cool, let's partner together, let me finance you so I can make some money off of you. Now, if you're a boxer that can no longer box, yeah, no one's gonna fuck with you. But if you're a Weinstein or an L.A. Reid or somebody of that caliber that could generate projects that make millions of dollars, someone's gonna say, okay, that's the past. Don't do it again. Let's start a new company.
I don't know if it's always that cut and dry for my people, but in theory, that's how it should be.
L.A. Reid.
That's
Perfect
one
example.
person you're naming. You keep going back to L.A. Reid. I don't know if you can name a list of black people.
Let's think. Let's think someone who got shamed publicly somehow and went back and started making started making money again. Let me think.
Is Isaiah Washington back on right now?
The older Isaiah Washington?
The actor Isaiah Washington, who called somebody a faggot on his show, and then
him.
They crucified him, and is he back on top? Is he back on something like the level of the show what they took him off of?
There's the whole Jason Mitchell thing that's happening right now.
And he's still just as good as an actor as he always was.
Yeah, I mean, Jason Mitchell just got kicked off of The Chi.
Exactly.
A great show, by the way.
Great
show. And I honestly can't really imagine the show without him because he is such a central character in that show. It just doesn't really make sense to have The Chi without him. That might top the whole show. I feel like
he was like an up-and-coming black actor,
Yeah, well, he played Eazy-E
yeah,
in the NWA movie.
Eazy-E.
Good actor. I don't know, man. Like I said, I mentioned L.A. Reid.
Right, and that's all you can mention.
That's all I can mention.
But I could have mentioned several white people. Robert Downey Jr., fucking
Mel Gibson.
Mel Gibson, fucking shit. Donald Trump. like that motherfucker bounced back and then look, he president now.
He's president now, yeah. Yeah, man. Who knows? Strange world we live in. But anyways, Lord Jamar,
yes,
always
sir.
a pleasure. Keep doing your thing. Make sure you check out the Ya Know What I Mean podcast. Godcast, I mean.
You know what I mean.
You know what I mean.
Yeah, let it roll out your tongue. You know what I mean. You know what I mean.
The Bay Area version is Ya Know What I Mean.
Right. And I mean, we could talk about that because a lot of people in the Bay think I stole it from Mac Dre and them, and I didn't. But I have so much respect for the Bay. So, sidebar, shout out to the Bay, Keep the Sneak, Mac Dre. But we were saying, you know what I mean, on the East Coast. Maybe they were saying it in a certain way, and now it's kind of got smushed together. But I swear I did not take that and try to like jack some West Coast slang and not give them their propers. But I'm going to acknowledge that, yes, they do say that out in the Bay. Shout out to my people from the Bay.
Well, being from the Bay, the Bay is just kind of very sensitive when it comes to that type of thing.
Right.
Because there's been so many, for show, for sheezy, hella. There's been so many terms.
Oh, and I know I know hella and all that, where that came. Dank.
Yeah.
All of that comes from the Bay.
Yeah.
I ain't never heard that nowhere else.
Yeah.
But shit like, you know
so
what I mean?
many...
Come on, we niggas say that.
Yeah.
New York niggas been saying that.
Yeah, like I just looked it up, just online, good looks, Cuddy for show, swoop, fucks with, ya know what I mean, slaps. All these terms started in the Bay and were adopted on a larger scale basis, and the Bay doesn't always get credit for that. So you have to understand that when you come up with something that does sound similar to a Bay Area term, Bay Area people, they've had it happen to them so many times that they're going to be very defensive about it.
I get it. Well, I'm just saying I didn't do that. I'm not doing that to you, Bay Area. That's all I got to say about that. I love the Bay. Shout out Oakland, Richmond, San Fran, all of that. I know what time it is.
All that, Mattio, all that. And being from the Bay, man, I appreciate you saying that, And, I've always represented the Bay. I've done a lot of Bay Area interviews. I've done a lot of Bay Area projects like The American Gangster on Mac Dre and the Ghost Ride the Whip documentary. That people know where I come from and what I've put a lot of my time into. I appreciate you saying that. And everyone from the Bay, man, don't give Jamar a hard time. It's respectful. Make sure you watch the Godcast.
The You Know What I Mean Godcast.
You Know What I Mean podcast. Until next time.
Yes, sir.
Peace.
Peace.